when you walk into a new kitchen, they straight away, the first question, are you Italian? If I say no, they're like, okay, go cut tomatoes.
That was Salim Gafayri. And it's your boy, Idriff, and you're listening to the What's Good Dough podcast. Whether it's pizza, business, or life, my guest and I are always talking about ways we can level up. We have a lot to learn today from Chef Salim. He is one of Melbourne's most amazing pizzaiolos, and he has this crazy huge following. I was excited to get to know him and finally hear his voice. And yes, he does have an Australian accent. If you want to see how he looks and all of that good stuff, it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Spotify. So check out the video. Other than that, though, we talk about all of his upbringings and how it's led him to where he's at today, making pizza, doing what he loves, and being extremely passionate about it all. We also talk about his huge following account on Instagram, what that means for him and business moving forward. This is an amazing episode, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And remember to always ask, what's good dough? Welcome to the What's Good Dough podcast, and get ready to level up. But before we continue with the show, I want to introduce you to my two show sponsors, Uni Pizza Ovens and Cordo Olive Oil. Let's start with Uni. They are the #1 pizza oven company in the world with the best community there is. Because of their ovens, I have made some of the most amazing pizzas. From round pies to squares, I'm able to get to temperatures of up to 900 degrees, allowing me to cook the pizzas of my dreams. If you're looking to grow your pizza business, buying an Uni makes sense. My past guest Ryan of Sanctuary Pizza has a mobile catering company powered by Uni. These powerful ovens are efficient, lightweight, and can be used almost anywhere. Whether you take pizza seriously like me, or want to run a pizza operation like Ryan, Uni is the choice for you. Use the link in the show notes and join the Uni community. My second show sponsor is Cordo Olive Oil. At first, I didn't believe that olive oil mattered. It wasn't until I got educated and learned about the difference between commodity oil and Cordo's fresh squeezed olive oil that I ditched the supermarket stuff. Today, I only use Cordo olive oil when it comes to making my dough and even doing a post-baked drizzle. I have even made some amazing pesto with it. Oh my goodness. Cordo's high quality olive oil does really elevate anything it touches. My buddy Chris, who runs A Slice of New Jersey, just switched over to Cordo. Not only is he getting quality, but he ended up saving money by switching over too. If you're still unsure of the difference, pizza operators can sign up for a free olive oil tasting. Use the link in the show notes to learn more. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my show sponsors and supporting this show. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I am excited to bring you all my guest today. His name is Salim Gafayri. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
You said it right. Yeah. Well done, man. Well done. First go. You pronounced my name right, which is 10 points to you.
There you go.
Amazing.
I've messed up some names in the past, and I just feel so bad because my name is hard, and I appreciate it when people make the time to learn my name. So yeah, I wanted to get yours down.
No, thanks, man. And first of all, I want to say that thank you very much for inviting me to your beautiful show, beautiful podcast, and I'm really happy to be here today talking to you. Nothing but pizza and everything.
It's gonna be a fun time.
I'm really excited, man.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. We've been talking about doing this for quite a while time now, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm glad we finally made it happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll do, maybe this will be part 1, maybe we'll do part 2, part 3. Why not?
Well, before we can't even get into talking about part 2 or part 3 yet until we talk about this first question.
That's right, man.
There's no right or wrong answer. What's good dough?
Good question, my friend. Good question. I thought of this, and I'm like, how do I answer this? I thought of it, and for me, the good dough is the two parts to that question. The first part will be when you get your slice, when you bite into the pizza, when you bite into a good dough, and after that, after maybe 2 3 hours later, it's about how you feel, how that pizza sits in your tummy. It's really important for me for dough to be, digestible, sits in the tummy just right, and not bloated. Because I've eaten some pizzas, initial taste and stuff, they look, beautiful, gorgeous, and you bite into it, and you eat it, and then a couple of hours later, you feel like, a bit of a sweating, and you feel bloated. For me, that's a red flag. But yeah, once you eat the pizza, you shouldn't be feeling bloated and just feel light. That's a good day for me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you took it that way. I've never heard anyone really talk about that feeling post eating. And I think it's an important one. And we'll definitely talk about digestibility and hopefully do a deep dive on what you mean about texture and have you describe that more and how to get that texture. But before we get too far into the episode, let's talk a little bit about you. Let's give an introduction to who you are, aside from the fact that you are one of the most amazing pizza makers on Instagram. I'm seriously amazed by your process. And so
Thank you.
I can't wait to learn about you, man. Tell us a little bit more about you.
So first of all, my name is Salim Gafayri. I was born in Turkey, born there, and pretty much raised in Australia. I came in Australia, Melbourne, 2004, with my two sisters. And at that time, I was 14, turning 15 years old. Didn't know a single word of English, and I went to English Language Center. I've learned English in 9 months, and then I was ready for year 10, which is the high school. So it was really fast track learning for me, from 0 to 100. It just happened so quickly. My sister Nada, which is a really talented chef as well, at that time she was working at this Italian restaurant. And on the weekends, I was at home by myself, a bit bored, just playing PlayStation all day. And then she took me one day, I'm like, she was like, instead of, sitting all day, come with me. So I did some work with her, and then I really quite like it. That's my thoughts, and me wanting to be a chef slash pizza maker started.
You got your first foray into food by following your sister to work. And then when did you start actually working and learning, or did you take classes? How did you get those mad skills that you have?
I've started in the kitchen since 2004, late 2004. Just helped working 1 or 2 days, just, washing pans and pots, just killing some time on the weekend because I had nothing to do. One day, and that particular restaurant, they were, doing some grill stuff, pastas, pizzas. And then I saw the pizza boys, I saw the dough, the pizzas coming out of the oven. It was a double deck oven. I remember like yesterday. It was a double deck oven, and they were cooking the pizzas on a actual on trays, right? So I'm like, wow, that looks interesting, So I requested to go and make pizza there. So they were like, okay, we'll give you a try. So I remember one of the times, the very very first times, they told me to go and make the pizza. I'm like, okay, I didn't stretch or anything. They stretched it for me. So I'm like, all right, I'll top it up. I'll top the pizza, and then I topped it like a cake. I mean, these things look like a Chicago style pizza. Like so thick. Maybe they were like 2 kilos of cheese. They were like, "What are you doing?" This that. I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm doing? I'm just 14 years old. Anyway, and then they told me, okay, you are green. You need to learn everything. So we started from the basics. They took me in. They were really nice. They were really kind. And that's how I started, man. Like they taught me how to stretch by hand, how to make the dough at the age of 14, yeah, 15, pretty much.
When did you start moving into a more Neapolitan style where you're just cooking directly on the hearth and baking it in an open flame, not a double deck oven?
Late 2008, I went to this place. It was really popular, well known in Melbourne. So I worked there for a bit. It's called DOC. It's a really good restaurant, and the ex owner, which is the Tony Nicolini, really is one of my idols in pizza universe, and he's so good. And at that time, he had his head chef Alessio taught me a few skills as well. So they were using double deck oven. as well there. So I was comfortable to cooking it on the stone. Obviously different, when you cook it with the live fire.
Yeah.
But my experience with the live fire started later on the years, because I had to in 2014. I paused my pizza making life. I'm like, I need to go and work in actual proper kitchen to get some knowledge and skills. So I've done that for a few years. I did some Italian cuisine and Spanish cuisines. I ran a couple of years. I ran a Spanish tapas restaurant. Learned lots of skills. And one day I said in late 2017, I'm like, you know what? I want to get back into it. But this time I want to do both. I want to run a proper pizzeria. So that's how my journey started.
In 2014, when you took a break from pizza, kind of
At that time, in 2010, I was still working in the kitchen, making a little bit of a pasta, stuff like that. And then I thought to myself, I need to spread my wings, and I have to, learn, more things in depth. So I went to work with my sister, and at that time she was working at Ciccone's Flinders Lane, which is a really good high end Italian restaurant. So it gave me opportunities to learn wealth of knowledge. When you think that you know everything, actually you're just getting started.
Right.
So it was really nice.
So do you apply some of those skills and lessons learned to your pizza today?
Yeah, in a way, I've realized when you work in the high end restaurants, like you have to be like I got my discipline from there. I'm really highly organized when I work in the kitchens. When I run in the restaurants, I think I do have a OCD, maybe you call it, like everything has to be organized around me, or else I feel not right.
So where are you at today? I see that you're doing a couple pop-ups. Are you still working at a restaurant? What are you doing?
Yeah. So the story now, I recently joined St. Ali Group. They are probably one of the biggest coffee roasters in Australia. And they do supply, I think, around the world as well. They've got a few projects in the pipeline. So one of them is opening up a pizzeria in Melbourne CBD. Is right next to Melbourne Uni, just in the entrance of the really busy uni. So I will be the head chef there, running the pizzeria, and we've got a beautiful kiosk at the front, which I will be making, house-made focaccias, stuff like that. Yeah, so that's my story right now with the company. On the weekends, I've been doing my pop-ups with Goes New Dome. So I'm just having fun doing the pop-ups. It's really great.
We were talking about texture earlier, and we were talking about digestibility. Can you dive in a little bit more about that and maybe talk to us a little bit about your dough?
Yeah, absolutely. So I use double O flour, which is Caputo, and I've used. I always try to test other different brands and flours. Type Zero, Double Zero, and then I've used a couple of really good Australian grains from Sydney, and so yeah, they're really good flours. With the digestibility, I only use 4 types of ingredients, and I use just a fraction of yeast in my dough. So I let it rise, I let it ferment over 2 to 3 days. That gives me really really light and easily digestible dough. I don't use bigger or poolish in my recipes. I found, because I always do it in the restaurants. I believe that it's in Melbourne weather is really tricky. One day is cold, one day is warm. I do a simple direct dough method, which it gives me the result that I need, that I want, and it's easy to monitor in the restaurant scene. So digestibility comes from me is that the way you mix the dough, how long you mix the dough, and the final result. Obviously, if you do mix it at a certain above certain temperature, or you mix it too much, the end result, when you're cooking it, it impacts the result directly.
What temperature are you finishing your mix at?
And maximum, I tend to finish maximum of 23 degrees. As I said, this is not right or wrong. This is what I've done. 21 to 23 degrees is a sweet spot for me. And I start my water temperature. I straight use from the tap water, and then I measure that with the laser gun. If it's below 12 degrees, perfect. Anywhere, it's fine. If it's above 12 degrees, I just fill a couple of ice blocks there to make it a bit more cooler, and that's the trick with my water.
Okay. So for me, when I'm doing, I heard about this 23 degrees Celsius, and I think it's around like 72 Fahrenheit. Don't quote me on that. I don't have the calculator right now, but that's why my dough was not working for me. I was mixing too hot.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Like, why is that the case? Why is 23 degrees or 20? I've even heard someone say 24 degrees Celsius, but why is that so important, that number?
If you mix it to 24, 25, it will activate. The fermentation process will start without even you knowing, without even you boiling it up. In the end, after a day or two, the dough, the final result will be over fermented dough.
What if I finish my dough mixing and I'm at like 19 Celsius or 20 and it's like kind of really cold? Is that still going to be okay? Is there such thing as too cold dough?
How long do you mix the dough?
Well,
The
if it's
dough normally?
if it's a lower hydration, sometimes it's only like 8 to 10 minutes for a 2 to 3 kilo batch, 63%. Sometimes I use colder water just because I'm scared that I'm going to go past
Yeah.
23 Celsius.
Yeah. Normally the sweet spot is 20 to 21 degrees, of course, but I've, I always check it with the laser. I always finish below 23. If you see it 19, I'll let it go a bit more. That means, you're not overly kneading your dough. I mean, if you mixed it like half an hour, it's still 19 degrees, which is, I believe, impossible. But if you're mixing it 15 to 20 minutes and it's 19, you can go, a bit more. I mean, I believe that in the dough making, I don't have a recipe. I just have a method. I can say, all right, 1 kilo flour, 600 mils of water, salt, olive oil, this, that. It is a recipe, but every single place, the environment you're in, you need to adapt to that. Like in Melbourne, if the weather is too hot, maybe I will put a little bit of ice in the dough machine, because the dough machine, it gets really hot. I'm gonna cool that first, and then I take the ice out. If you don't have ice, and then you're gonna use the bowl, which is like 25, 30 degrees, and then you're gonna have to adapt to that. So I don't really follow one recipe. I just have methods that I follow.
Do you have things that you're looking for in those methods? Like, what are you doing as far as
Yeah.
knowing it's done other than the temperature?
So I normally do my dough 65 to between 65 to 70% hydration, and when I do finish my dough, I check the temperature, and also I make sure that the dough is fully clean around the bowl. There's like no flour left or lumps or anything. And then when I'm moving the dough, it's like nothing left. The bowl is clean, so that's a good sign for me. Should be mixed that way. Or there's no, like, if you're using oil, there's no oil left behind, no salt, stuff like that.
Okay. So when you're done mixing it, do you do any sort of stretch and folds, or are you bulk fermenting? Are you dividing it up? What are you doing?
Depending on let's say, for example, I did this in the lockdown, the during the COVID lockdown. I did some pop-ups, and I was limited with the free space, so I couldn't really do my usual method. Make the dough, rest for half an hour to 1 hour, and then boil it up in the trays and in the cool room. I couldn't do that, so I need to adapt. I did both fermentation. So to do that, I did my dough straight into the tubs in the room temperature for about 2-3 hours, and then straight into the fridge. and 6 to 8 hours before the event started, I will be boiling it up, and by the time I use it, it's all ready to go.
Yeah. Okay.
So for the restaurant, I do my usual technique. I make the dough. If the outside temperature is not really cool, I will be taking it out, leaving it for a couple of hours, and boil it up and straight into the fridge.
Got it. Okay. How do you know when your dough balls are ready? Do you just go for 48 hours and then it's ready to go? Or do you like poke the ball, or do you like smell it? What's your indicator that it's ready to go?
So after 48 hours in the fridge, yeah, like you can literally tell it. A combination of smelling the dough, it should have a really nice fragrance, and also if you use the right amount of yeast, they will look all like uniform, not really overly puffy. Um, they will look beautiful and shiny. And also you can like when it press on the dough, you can tell if it's ready. If it's like really tight, that means for me, that's how I can say. For me, it is not the dough needs maybe one more day or a few more hours need. But if it's like really nice soft touch, not too soft, not too hard, so that means it's ready to
Yeah,
go.
when I see your stretching process, you don't do too much to your dough. I feel like you dip it in the semola, right? Or is that what you're using? The
Yeah, fine
Yeah.
semolina, yeah.
Yeah, and then you tap with your hands, and then you pick it up and you throw it one hand, two hands, one hand, two hand,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's ready to go. Like your dough just seems so soft. At that point, are you just like letting it come to room temperature and it just does that automatically?
Yeah, so that process is after, um, before your service starts. Whether you're at home or I always refer to services. I'm talking
Sure.
like I'm thinking in a restaurant. So before your service starts, about if it's winter, 2 hours, summer 1 hour before I take my dough out, and then if the temperature about anywhere between 13 degrees to 20 degrees, that's the sweet spot for me. As I said, everyone's doing differently, but this is what I do.
Of course.
I take it out, and then after 1 hour, the dough. When you take the dough ball out, it's like it should be relaxed and ready to go. When you stretch it, like with my dough, it never like it doesn't feel tight or strong. It's just like I don't really have to do much. It just
Yeah.
like opens itself.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
always surprised. It looks so effortless.
yeah. And also thanks to the hydration that I use, a little bit more. 6 to 8% is my sweet spot.
Yeah.
So it's like really easy to stretch as well.
Got it. So it basically opens up itself, and then what I do notice when you're making your pizza is that you put your tomatoes on your toppings, and then you don't stretch it all the way at first. You kind of like stretch it in. It looks like maybe if you're cooking a 12-inch pizza, it looks like you're maybe going to like 9 or 10, and then you
Yeah,
get it on the peel and then stretch it out.
that's right.
Is that a traditional way of doing things, or is that just like where did you get that idea, and why do you do it that way?
So when I work with some Italian chefs and Neapolitan style restaurants, they actually they put the peel. Someone holds the peel, and the other person they slide into the peel, and then they
Mhm.
do the final stretch and they go. But for me, because the place that I worked at, the last previous place, Albury Afloat, we were making like 500-600 pizzas a day. We don't
Oh
have
gosh.
time to. Yeah, it's their mayhem, man. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Um, so when you don't have time, I'm like, you know what? I can't do it, and I'm using the G metal pizza peels. They're so good and reliable. I just go under,
Slide
take
it
it,
under.
slide
Yeah.
it under, couple of moves because the dough is so soft, easy to stretch as well. Just slide it under, couple of stretches, and off she goes. Um, that's how I do it. I just I don't muck around. Just hold the peel, stretch it over there, drag it. I just go under it. As you know, Neapolitan style pizza. When we stretch it, if it is stretched to a final final shape, final size. When you go under it, we could actually puncture the dough underneath, and then we will have a hole into it. That's the reason why we always do. Let's say if it's 12-inch pie, I stretch it to 10-inch size. It makes it easier to slide it. But if it's 12-inch of the full size, I will be struggling to slide it underneath. Or maybe eight out of 10, eight out of 10 times it might be all right. But there's a high chance that you will puncture the pizza.
Yeah, I have ripped plenty of pizza that way when I've overstretched at first versus just keeping it small and then stretching it on the peel.
Yeah, same. Like the New York style pizzas, like they stretch it straight to 18-inch, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
on the peel,
Right.
and then they slide it in. So
Yeah.
you can do it with the wood if you have a wood peel. Put a little bit of semolina. I don't know. I don't think it will work on the normal regular peels. If you put semolina, maybe it could stick. With the wooden peels, you could stretch all the way and just slide it like normal, like a New York style.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like the bigger the pizza, the harder it is to slide that metal peel under, and the more risky. So definitely makes sense.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about your Instagram.
Yeah, man, go for it.
Hey, Pizza Pal. I just want to say thank you for listening to the show so far, and thank you for making it all the way here. Before we get on to the end of the show, I want to remind you all to please leave a rating on the podcast. You could do it right now. Just go ahead and click 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify or Apple. It will greatly help the show. I appreciate you so much. And if you're looking to buy an uni or a second uni, the affiliate link helps the show so much. So please use that anytime you're considering a new oven. All right, enjoy the rest of the show. Dude, your follower count is incredibly, amazingly, impressively high. When did your Instagram account kind of take off, and maybe you can shed some light on, how that happened?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm more than happy to share that. So, when did I open the account? First Instagram. I mean, long time ago. Maybe 2015. I don't know. When I used to be, I used to take photos, a lot of photos, but I've never shared it. I kind of regret it now because all those times I worked at really cool places, not pizza, all those photos are gone now. I've been changing, the phone, stuff like that. They all got lost. But it really took off when I got to Rockbox I think it was late 2017 or 2018. Can't really remember. And then I started making pizzas and stuff at home. And then in 2020, it really started. I think Huang Ji Pizza as well. At that time he was really popular. I mean, he's still popular more than ever. At that time, it was me, Huang Ji Pizza, and a few other people. We're just getting started, in the pizza world. And just lately, man, last 6 months or last 1 year, it really it blew up. And then one of my video recently got like viral. I don't know what happened to the algorithm. There was like almost 800,000 likes, which is
whoa.
Yeah. I was like, what happened? Just the normal regular video. And then
what was the video?
It was just like me stretching it, the pizza. It's just the real basic stuff that I do. But if you take a look at the comments, everyone was like, not enough cheese, not enough cheese, add more cheese. I'm like, this is a Neapolitan style pizza, I just laugh. Some of the comments, I just laugh. I'm like, there's enough cheese on there. And then that particular pizza, we used to put more buffalo mozzarella afterwards. So I do understand people love cheese, but you can't really put too much cheese on a Neapolitan style pizza, or else you're gonna have the pizza's gonna be like an ocean, so watery.
It's gonna look like that first pizza you ever made.
Yeah, like exactly right. Yeah, like a cake, man, like a cake. We're not making cakes.
One of my friends, he's this social media marketer, and he was just talking about one of his posts that went viral, and he said the same thing. It was just kind of like the comments. People were arguing in the comments, and I noticed that, if you are getting a lot of engagement on your post, if people are either talking nicely about it or
Yeah,
even
yeah,
sometimes better talking crap about it,
yeah,
and people are
exactly.
going back and forth, Instagram is like, oh, there's a lot of engagement there, maybe we should continue to share it with other people.
Maybe okay. Maybe the comments it does it.
Nowadays people are saying like, share this with a friend or save it, and if you see that there are a lot of shares and a lot of saves,
That's right.
usually I'll see that too, but maybe the comments are like
Ah,
the next thing that are indicator of your post blowing up or not.
yeah. Like to be honest, like I love Instagram. I love sharing my love and passion there, posting, editing videos. But by no mean I'm not a like your friend.
Like
Like
a marketer
specialized.
or some.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just like putting it out there, man. If people follow me, thank you very much. I I really do it with love and passion, and I'm really grateful of the so many followers that I have, and I do all this content for them. I hope they enjoy. But lately, as you know, the algorithm doesn't let me to reach too many people. Like for example, if you look at the last few posts, there's like 300 likes, for example. So it's not reaching or people not interested. I'm not sure, but in that video, the one of the got viral, like it's like 30, 40,000 saved it. It's like over 25 million views, I think, happened.
Mm.
So just not sure how Instagram works, but maybe you're right. There's the comments. So after that video, I believe that for some reason Instagram ghosted me. Literally
Mm.
in like 4 weeks, 3, 4 weeks, there's like 60,000 people just followed me in that short span of time. Every morning I was waking up, there's like 1,500 people. I'm like, what's
Oh
happening,
my god.
And then
That's
all of a
crazy.
sudden, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I was like, wow, it's crazy. And then people were like, "Oh, you're a celebrity now." I'm like, "Relax, I'm not. I'm just the guy that he loves pizza. Really, like some people, they are too stuck with their follower count. But I'm not. To be honest, I'm not. I'm a humble guy, man. Um, I don't really care about how many followers I've got, but at the same time I do because the people follow me because I know they like my content and I really appreciate it and I do want to give back. Whether it's a knowledge, whether it's a good content. I really want to look after them, every single one of them. But like I don't really try to tell people, oh, follow me please,
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean. I just do, you know I really love pizza and that's what I do.
You definitely speak to me when you post. I love, learning from you. And yeah, some people are very thirsty on Instagram, and
Which is
I
fine,
don't
yeah,
see
which
you,
is good, yeah.
but I don't see you as that. So I really love the balance. And I think a lot of people appreciate what you do.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it, and it makes me really happy. I see big names like I love my dream. I wish I was living in America right now. I would be at Una Pista Napoletana every week. Go. I'm a big fan of Anthony Mangieri, and he's my idol. His character, the way he speaks, the way his love and passion. We could talk about him for hours, but I really love him, and he's my idol. He's following me, which is when he did that, I almost like dropped my phone. I'm like, "You serious? It's crazy." I said to my wife, I'm like, "Wow, Anthony Mangieri is like this guy. We're just watching it yesterday on YouTube, and he's following me. Can you believe it? It's crazy." And then Tony Gemignani. I don't know if I say his surname right. My apologies.
Jimignani, it's all good though.
Gemignani, yeah, is
Yeah.
one of my favorite as well. Is a top bloke, top guy. These are the real deals. Anthony Falco. It's really like the people that you like to follow me yourself as well. Guernsey community. There's so many people. It makes me really happy, to be in this pizza world. I really love it.
Do you have any plans to visit the US anytime soon?
Oh, if it was up to me, I'll be there tomorrow, man. But yeah, we are. Me and my wife. We're just waiting for a baby girl to, grow a bit more. She's just recently turned 1, so maybe
Congrats.
next year, the year after. Thank you, thank you. Maybe 1 year or 2 years later, I'm planning to come and do a bit of a trip around. There's so many places, man. If it was up to me, I would love to open up a pizzeria in America. It looks so it looks so good. It's my dream.
Yeah. What is next for you? Out of curiosity, do you still have those ambitions to open up a pizzeria? Like, would you ever consider opening up one yourself in Australia? Just what's next?
Yeah, I look absolutely. I am working towards that goal. Like, to be honest, with the company that I'm working right now, after I open the restaurant for them, we are hoping to open one flagship store together. We'll see, if it happens or not. But within 2 3 years, I will have to open my own restaurant. I think it's time, and I think I'll have to do it. There's no better time than now. So it has to happen, like, really, really soon, because I've got the energy. I want to use it, man. I have to do it.
So this restaurant that you're working at right now maybe wants to partner up with you. Um, is that why you decided to work with them?
Yeah, like, initially, the talks were like, they've had a project in Melbourne Uni. So my plan is to open that restaurant, make it really profitable, running smoothly, nice, and we will look into it. The second phase, which is the hopefully opening up a pizzeria. If you could, obviously, these things doesn't happen overnight. I do understand. We have to find the right location, fight to find the right venue, and fit out stuff like that. So it may take some time, but hopefully we are heading that way.
Out of curiosity, do you? I noticed on your Instagram that you never really do pictures or videos of you. It's always the pizza.
Yeah,
And is there any reason why?
yeah, good question, man. I always thought that, rather than myself, let the pizza, you know people see the pizza. It's they don't really need to see me. But yeah, you're right. Maybe you're right. People should see me. Um, you know, maybe I feel a little bit self conscious. Maybe I have to lose my muffin tops. Maybe, a little bit. I have to lose a
No,
little bit
man,
of
you're
weight
fine.
first, man. To be honest. No,
No,
no.
that's definitely.
I
Um,
yeah, like, yeah, it's a good question, actually. I don't know. I always, when we record, I'm like concentrating on the pizza. That's why I never barely take photos of myself and stuff like that. But I took it. They are all in exclusively on my phone. I can share them, but I don't know why I don't do it.
True.
Yeah.
No, I'm just, like when I hear your story, I can't help but think that you don't have at least a handful of people looking to partner with you and opening up your restaurant. Like with all of your followers, with all of your experience, I just couldn't help but think that if you really want your restaurant, I feel like you could get one. And I'm wondering, like, if people got to know you more as a person, maybe that number of interested people would be like, oh, maybe I want to work with that guy.
Maybe,
I don't
yeah,
know.
you're right. You're right. A lot of people, they tell me, Salim, you need to be a bit more vocal on Instagram. For example, do lives, do recipe videos. Maybe get onto the YouTube, do a couple of videos there. And if people get to know me, which you're right, people know me just my pizzas. But if they really get to know me, the I was gonna say the real Slim Shady, and then, and then they will.
I love that.
If they really, if they get the real Slim Shady, and then they will actually. I've got a bit of a sense of humor. I'm a bit of a character, I think. It will be a lot of fun, but yeah, I just have to, stop being shy and just get out there and do it.
Hey man, you don't seem shy at all when you're talking to me on this podcast.
Thanks,
And
man.
maybe it's just because it's just you and me one-on-one, but if you channel that same energy and think you're just talking to one person on Instagram, I think you would do just fine.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. I do get, I did get some offers, stuff like that, but you're right. Once if I think put my, put myself out there, maybe, yeah, the more doors will might open.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good thing right now too, right? So definitely don't discount that.
But no, absolutely.
If I know you said that we're gonna try things out with the one location and see if it goes your way, but it's good to have that backup plan if it doesn't go your way, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're right. I mean, look, the people that I'm working with now, they're lovely, they're amazing. I feel home, which is really, really, it matters. Every single person, my bosses and the managers, stuff like that. They're lovely people. They're really great to work with. So far, so good, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, if anyone want to sponsor me and my family over in America, they know where I am.
Yeah, let's make it happen. No, I definitely want all the best for you, and I want you to be happy and taken care of.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No, I believe in you. And so, yeah, thank you for entertaining that. It was just like it was one insight that I just had to poke at. I always, when I saw you today on video, and so everyone listening here, make sure to check out the video version. I realized I had really never seen your face or heard your voice. Remember,
you're right.
Commenting on your cool Australian accent, and I'm like, oh, you have an Australian accent. Of course he does.
Yeah.
You've been here since you were a kid.
Yeah, a little bit of it. I mean, I don't really have an like Aussie 100% Aussie accent, but is like let's say broken English, broken accent. I don't know, something like that. Maybe 10 years later, I will have a fluent Aussie accent. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But
I can't tell the difference, so I think you got one. Okay, you've been very gracious with your time. I just want to ask you my final two questions. What's one mistake in pizza, business, or life that people should avoid?
One mistake people should avoid. I don't know. Maybe not trusting people enough could be a mistake. Not sure.
Why do you say that?
Maybe, I don't know, like, because of my experience, I worked in tough kitchens, difficult situations. Me being Turkish, making pizza, some people look down on me. They said, no, you can't make pizza. You're not Italian, for example. I mean, I love Italians, I've got really good friends with Italian. I'm married to one. My wife is Italian. Her family is Italian. But for some reason, they didn't trust me. They didn't, make me make the dough or, stretch the pizza just because I was an Italian, for example. So I think people, when it's time, when someone's showing, progress and good attitude, trust them. Maybe if you don't trust, and maybe you're not gonna get as much value out of them. And I think, yeah, that's my answer to that question. It's,
just as a follow-up, how did you eventually get people's trust?
like I just had a chat with him. I told him, like, give me a chance. Like, I can do this. Or I just worked hard, put my head down, and then they saw the work that I've done, and in the end they trusted me. Yeah, like, when you walk into a new kitchen, they straight away, the first question, they're like, oh, can you do this, can you do that, or are you Italian? If I say no, they're like, okay, go cut tomatoes. If I say yes, okay, come stretch the pizza. But like, happens like that. But I'm talking years ago, but it's understandable. It's normal. But in the end, they all trusted me, and that's it.
Beautiful. Great advice. Thank you for sharing.
Man, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You have been so gracious with your time. I really appreciate it. And I want to give you the space to answer this final question. What do you want to leave the audience with today?
I want to leave the audience with lots of love and passion. You know, whatever you're doing in your life, do it with a love and passion. Do what you love, because when you do what you love, you will never feel like you're at work. I know a lot of people say that a lot, you know, but it is really true. For me, it's not work. But when I'm going to work, I never feel like I'm working. All day, every day, I can be at the pizzeria. I never feel like that I'm working. Yes, at the end of the day, maybe I might be a little bit tired, but I never feel sick of it. Lots of people are here. You know, I'm sick of this, sick of that. Pizza. One thing is that you really need to love it and enjoy it, and that's the only way that you can do it. Or else, it's really hard. It's repetitive work. It's not for everyone. I love it and I do it with a passion.
Beautiful way to end. Salim, thank you so much
Thanks,
for being
man.
on the show. I really
Appreciate it, brother. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for having me on the show. And not looking forward to hearing my own voice in the. I'm joking. I'm joking. I can't wait to hear it. I'll listen to it. I'll show it to wife as well. But thank you very much for your time too, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man.